Hi, it's Diane. This is a summary of a meeting with Dr. Moan last Wednesday, July 8th. And then we are going to go over a little bit about what I talked about with the drivers after the meeting was over. Dr. Moan explained to us what the school year 2021 was going to look like. All schools will be back in session Monday through Thursday. Friday is going to be for e-learning, and there is a possibility that some students will have to be brought into school in order to accomplish that. Dearzen will have AM and PM pre-K classes like they do now, and kindergarten will go full day. Elementary will be a full day and extended. Middle school and high school will either attend AM session or a PM session. Mask will have to be worn by students, drivers, associates whenever there are students on the bus. This is not a finalized plan yet, and there is a possibility that it'll change before the start of school. And also the question was asked whether or not this is for the full year. And he said that it may change during this school year if the pandemic situation changes. Now to talk about each individual school. Dearzen, again, the AM and PM pre-K are just like normal. There will not be any all-day pre-K. And the kindergarten students will be brought in the morning, and they will stay all day. Their schedule is going to be they're going to attend a half day in the classroom, and then they're going to do a half day of e-learning. Parents will have the option of picking up the AM kindergarten students earlier or bringing the PM kindergarten students to school later, depending on if they don't want them to attend for the e-learning. AM pre-K will be taken home mid-morning, and PM pre-K will be picked up mid-morning. PM pre-K and all of the kindergarten students will go home in the afternoon. School times will change to accommodate sanitizing the school between sessions. The elementary school. All of them are going to have full days. The days will be extended to accommodate sanitizing the school in between sessions. All elementary students will come in to school in the morning and be taken home in the afternoon. They will all attend a half day of classroom and a half day of e-learning. Everybody Reads program is still going to run, and they will have one in the middle of the day and one at the end of the day. Other programs are still being discussed. Middle school and high school are going to have AM and PM classes. Half of the student body will attend the school in the AM and half in the PM. They will have e-learning at home for the other half of their day. School attending AM classes will be transported to the school in the morning and return home at midday. Students attending PM classes will be transported to school in the middle of the day and taken home at the end of the day. We're still not sure what's going on with athletics. It's still being discussed, and they're waiting on some information from the IHSA, and we'll know about that hopefully soon. Activities and extracurricular programs are still being discussed also as to which ones will be run and which ones will not. School times will change to accommodate sanitizing the school between sessions. Okay, so after Dr. Moan answered a few questions, I stayed on and talked with the drivers a little bit more to explain it even further and what it means to transportation. As I said earlier, everybody, drivers, associates, students will all be required to wear them while students are on the bus. They're doing the same things at the school level. The union and I are looking into different types of masks. So if you have one that really works for you, please contact me so that we can look at it and see if it would work for the bus, work on the bus for the other drivers. We're trying to find something that is cool, doesn't overheat you, and lightweight. Drivers will be required to sanitize their bus between their runs. So every time their bus is emptied and they've either dropped off a group or they're at the school or they've dropped them off at home, you will be required to walk your bus and spray it down. Our goal is to have no more than 35 to 40 students on a bus. We can have up to 48 on the bus, but we're trying to keep the numbers lower if possible. There are some situations that might not be possible. But as I said, the goal is to have 35 to 40 kids on the bus. We will also make sure that there is room for your own students so that they can ride the bus with you. We might just have to do a little adjusting. Seating charts are going to be required. We can help you. Lori will help and work with you for seating charts depending on how many students are on your bus. We have a couple different ways that we can seat them, and we need to have that enforced. It's going to be required in the case of the tracking, if somebody got sick, their tracing, so that you will have to make sure that we enforce the seating charts. And those will be part of one of our days of meetings where you will be required to sit down and start working on your charts and getting your kids situated, and that has to be done by the beginning of the school year. Disciplining students for mask violation. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. I plan on having a Google Meet on that Monday the 10th that we were, or Friday, I'm sorry, Friday the 7th, that we were having a meeting. So we are going to talk about a few things. We will be doing disciplining for students not having their masks on or taking them off or purposely coughing into somebody's face, but it's going to start with education first. We're going to make sure that we educate the students as to why they need to have their mask on. We're going to make sure that we educate the parents that we really need to have the mask on this bus in order to be able to transport the 35 to 40 students. And then we will take it from there as far as, I don't know if we're going to assign the seat up front. I don't think so. I think it's going to start with the education. And then we'll also notify the school that we're having an issue from the very beginning, not after a couple times, but from the very beginning that we have an issue of a student. But again, we'll talk about this further so I can answer your questions. I'm sure there's going to be many coming up with it. I was asked if we could get hand sanitizer stations on the bus. I'm checking into it. I'm finding out whether DOT has any problem with them being on, how they need to be secured, and if there's a certain type that they have to use. At this point, I don't know if we will have them on the bus. If they are allowed on the bus, I don't know if we'll have them from the very beginning or if it's going to have to be something that will get put on once we find out if it's okay. As Dr. Moan said, the routes are going to be Monday through Thursday. They will be longer than normal, and more than likely they will have midday sections as part of the day. Very much how our kindergartens look right now, where you are picking them up, taking them home, picking them up, taking them home type thing. Friday routes, if they decide that we need to have students brought in to the classroom, if we know this before route selection, we will make sure that they're posted on the table to select. If not, they will be posted up per contract like we always do. Going to ask you guys to be flexible. We are going to make sure that you have the same type of hours as last year, as long as you are selecting as much as you can to fill your day. There will be some changes in the route selection. Hopefully, I am going to be able to kind of get that all planned out. We're going to do it with the union to make sure that we've got it smooth between both of us, knowing what we're doing and how we're doing the route selection. It's going to be different than it has been in the past. We're going to try to be flexible with your needs and our needs as far as how much you take during the day, and we're going to try to get you as many hours as you can. In theory, there should be more hours than what you had last year per week, just because of how the day is extended and how many times that we're taking kids home and picking them up in the, for afternoon classes. Employees that have other D200 positions, I'm going to ask that the driving position takes precedence and that you fill the middle of your day with taking routes, and it's to your benefit. It's more money, it's more route driving, it's more money. And then I talked with Dr. Moan and Brian McAdow, and As long as you choose to drive during that middle of the day stuff, your current midday position will be guaranteed to be there in the 21-22 school year. Employees with jobs outside of D200, we will be as flexible as we possibly can to accommodate your needs and ours and the needs of the district. You just need to come talk to me. It would probably be best to talk to me for suggestions before route selection, or at least be in there early enough that you can talk with one of the union members that's there at route selection, so that you can find the stuff that will fill your day and get you the hours that you need and still be able to allow you to work outside of the district. Associates, theoretically, there should be more positions. I believe that we are going to need more Dearson routes, associates on Dearson routes in the morning, midday, and the afternoon, because these guys are little and they're now going to be required to wear masks. I don't see any route in the middle of the day that is going to not have an associate on it. So I perceive extra routes available for associates. We're still not sure what special ed is doing. It's still being discussed and what their days are going to look like. So I don't know whether we are going to have special ed routes yet, but if not, there are plenty other positions that you can fill your day with. There will be possible positions at the elementary routes also, simply because we know that we had routes that had some issues over the last couple of years with student behavior, and even though we're going to reduce those numbers on the routes, there's still that matter of keeping their masks on and making sure that they are not intermingling with each other. If you have a position at a school, you will be asked to fill transportation positions first that are open, and your current D200 position will be available in the 21-22 school year. And if you have any questions about this, please give me a call and talk to me as we get closer to having routes posted, because until we have the routes developed, I can't even begin to tell you exactly what we're going to need. And finally, I'd like you to know that the District 200 administration, WTEC, and WSRP unions and myself are working together to make sure that you and our students are safe. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me to discuss them anytime. I hope everyone has a safe and healthy rest of the summer. I look forward to seeing everyone soon. My door's always open. You can either come talk to me or give me a call on the phone. That's fine. I will get the information out to you via phone message as to when and what to expect coming up. I'm going to post more items like I do on the training website and hope to start answering questions. So if you have a question that you want answered, give me a call so that I can post it up on the website also, because at this point, I'm sure if one person has that question, there's several of you that do. After that, aside from that, have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of the summer, and see and talk to you soon.